Welcome back, everyone. We are reading this book by Nicolas Dirks and trying to understand what exactly did the white person or the Christian colonizer understand about the Varna system. Now, agreed, a lot of people don't understand the context of this book. The context is since they themselves were coming from their enlightenment, so they had come up with this idea of secularization, meaning the political power that is exercised through the authorities, through the state or a nation state, it must be separate from the church. So this was their understanding of secularism, that is separating the functions of the state from the religion. But when you come to Bharat, it has always been one. Remember when we started from, in the very first video, at the beginning of the very first chapter, there was a quote that everything is united into one code and you cannot escape that. So now we are going to understand, let's see what was their understanding of the Varna system. This is fellow Dumont. He writes, the caste society, meaning that everybody living on the basis of certain rules. Keep in mind, a lot of people, especially people from the left, the liberals, they will tell you that we have to live in the modern society by some civil rules. So those civil rules are based on what? According to them, it is based on the understanding that religion, that is again their definition of a belief system, their definition of faith, that religion must be exempted from the state. And this definition comes, or this understanding, or this belief comes from their understanding of separation of state and church, which, by the way, is not complete separation of state and church. If you go to the United States, they inherently believe, and they are very outspoken about their Christian credentials. The Christian credentials of the United States, or the state, or their state functionaries, state machinery, so on and so forth. Even if you look at Europe, they themselves are pretty much very proud about their Christian credentials, and they don't mince words or don't miss opportunities to let the world know that indeed ours is a Christian country. So looking at Bharat, or looking at the Varna system of Bharat through this lens, this is what they understood. This symbol was a powerful reminder of how that society is organized by religious rather than secular values. Okay, if you notice this, a lot of people, a lot of intellectuals, I don't put them into the category of intellectuals. I simply just put them into the category of mouthpiece of the West. Yes, they have somehow bought into this idea that these enlightenment ideas of liberalism, secularism, and all those ideas that have come out from the West, if we blindly apply them to Bharat, okay, we should blindly apply them to Bharat. This is what these liberal intellectuals seem to think. But here is a white fellow, who says that the Varna system was essentially a powerful reminder that the Western society can be organized on these principles, that the state can be separated from the church. But when you come to Bharat, the society is organized in such a way that religion is intertwined, blended, inherently mixed with the civil society. You cannot divorce the civil society from the religion in Bharat. A lot of people, even Mohandas Gandhi has spoken about this, that religion is an inalienable part of people in Bharat. So it is. Religion encompasses politics. Yes, a lot of people would agree with this. There is no escaping it. The civil society that we run. Okay. Now, there is a very simple example. Okay. The next time when you go outside, okay, observe how people greet each other. They will have some or the other deity that they greet with. We stay in a part called Rajkot in the state of Gujarat. Okay, here people greet each other with Ram Ram, Har Har Mahadev, Jai Mataji. So these are ways how people greet each other. And there are other ways as well. I'm not saying these are the only ways how you greet people. People greet each other with various of things. Okay, so even Jai Thakur, Jai Shri Krishna, so all these things, this is how you greet people. These things are very much ingrained. You cannot simply just expect that these people will let go of these religious beliefs for the sake of establishing a state based on liberal and secular principles. Because that is essentially what this imposition or blind imposition of Western ideologies aspires for us. You'll see a lot of journalists, a lot of people, a lot of anchors in the news channel. They will, preach you these principles, that you are supposed to be liberal, that you are supposed to be secular, society should be established on these values and not on religious values. How can you expect a civilization that has been practicing these values since 5,000 years let go of beliefs, let go of their beliefs and religious faith and so on and so forth, just because you want to establish a society based on enlightenment values? It's a very hard bargain, I must ask. I would say almost more than 7 decades have passed since independence, but simply just because those words are written in the constitution does not mean that they align with the reality on ground. Okay, the people over here are inherently religious. They'll greet each other with Ram Ram. So what is secular about that? Now I know people over here will attack me. How can you question that? I myself greet others with Ram Ram. So by definition, that is not secular. That is religious. Okay. So yes, Varna system and our beliefs, our religion is inherently blended with our civil existence. I would go as far as saying that our religion is a civil religion in Bharat. Now, one very interesting thing that this book brought to light for me as well was this is one more, I would say, one more evidence for people who like to think that religion should be divorced from the civil society. Dumont argued that political and economic domains of social life had always been encompassed by the religious domain. It has always been like this since the very existence, or since the very beginning of the existence of Bharat. Religion is something that has always been an inherent part of the society. There is no version of Bharat where the civil society is divorced from the religion. It would be a very terrible day indeed, if indeed such day were to arrive. And this is essentially what the entire politics of our country is hell-bent on convincing people, that you must let go of your religious beliefs and exist as a civil society based on the values of liberalism and secularism, articulated in terms of opposition, blah blah blah. Here, now this is something that this is something that I came across, and it also opened my eyes to a certain way of thinking. Let's see if I can articulate better in my words. British introduced these distinctions for the convenience of colonial rule, and given the force of colonial presence and power, they took root in serious ways during 200 years of rule. Okay. Now, what did the Brits, or what did the white people, or the Christian colonizer, what did they do? They wanted to prolong their stay in Bharat, prolong their exploitation of Bharat. So what did they do? Obviously, they were curious, they were studying, they were carrying out research as to what is the Varna system, how do they manipulate the history, how do they manipulate the scholarship, the intellectual people, and convince us that somehow their way of life is better. All right. So what did they do? They had to come up with this distinction, that is, the society and the religion. Those are two separate entities, not an extension, or not a complement, or are not concurrent with each other. This is essentially what British believed, because in order for them to rule us, because what was happening prior to 1858, before that first rebel. I'm not sure if I should use that word or not, but let's, for the sake of argument, let's say that it was a rebel in 1858. So prior to that, they tried to meddle with the religious affairs, and the results were not good, obviously. So they had to distinguish that, okay, these are the things that are related with the rule, with the governance, with the civil society, and these are the rules that are associated with the religion. Okay. Now earlier they were trying to mess with the religion. They tried to make some changes to the religion, and it was not taken well by the natives of Bharat, and they had some serious pushback. So post 1858, you'll see that there still was, but it was more subtle. The missionaries were brought in and everything was conducted, but in a subtle way. But they came up with this distinction that civil rule and religion are different. Because remember, at the beginning of the video, I told you that they were coming from such reality where in Europe they had seen that there was some requirement of separation of religion from the state, or religion from the church. This is Dumont speaking. His insistence on the unity of Bharat, an insistence he claimed had nothing to do with somewhat spurious political uses of the idea in the independence movement, not only worked to seal the borders from the rest of the world, but to mark Bharat as unique in particular because of the existence of caste from one end of the country to the other and nowhere else. Now there is one more argument to be made. If you see, the Varna system or the Varna Pratha was practiced to the length and breadth of this country. There are no places in Bharat where Varna system is not present in one form or the other. So it itself lends weight to the argument that there is no reality of Bharat where religion is different from civil society. There just is not. And saying that we should aspire to achieve that ideal of having the civil society separate from religion is to say that we want to exist as those Western nation states. We want to exist as them, which in a sense they themselves are existing as Christian nations. So you see the discrepancy in that argument. Even the whites have gone as far as saying that we do not have any history. Bharat has no sense of history. Bharat has no history. Now this is this fellow Dumont and a person Hegel. He has also said this before. So let's listen to their words. If history is the movement by which a society reveals itself as it is, there are in a sense as many qualitatively different histories as there are societies. And Bharat, precisely because she is indifferent to history, has carefully laid it down in the form of her society, her culture, and her religion. So since they say that Bharat had no sense of history because we had a Varna system, and only if society exists as a homologous unit where everyone believes in the same principle, everyone believes in just one God, then and only then you can have history, otherwise you cannot. I know after hearing this you will instantly realize this is the monotheistic way of thinking, the Christian and the Muslim way of thinking, where only if an entire society or an entire country follows one principle and follows just one God, then and only then you can be a nation state, otherwise you cannot. Then and only then you have history, otherwise you not. That is so far what I have discovered in this book. I could not read much today because I was engaged with some other work. I am a full-time teacher as well, and you can check out my other content on my LinkedIn profile. I've written some articles over there as well. You can check out my Instagram. You'll find some good content over there. We have also started with another page that is esports and information. It is a social media publication or a digital publication arm that I have started, where I will publish some PDFs, some ebooks. The first one that I've already put it on my profile is a layman's guide to political ideas, because what I think is a lot of people are not aware, they do not know what the political principles of liberalism, socialism, secularism mean, where do they come from, what are their origins, and they have simply just started believing in them because they have been written in constitution. So we need to bring more awareness about what exactly do these principles mean, where do they come from, what are their repercussions, so on and so forth. You can check out my other profiles. I've already put up the links in my YouTube bio. That's it for this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching.